Hi, thanks for watching this video. This is about my ancestors journal. Right here on the left you can see my family tree. I made it so you can unfold it and then you can always see the parents of who's underneath. On the right side it's my grandma with her brother and some introduction on what's going to happen. And this is my grandpa's grandpa and the one who built the house I still live in. And this is his wife, Elizabeth. His name was Conrad. And you can see him here on the upper right corner and some facts all around him. I journal in German because I am German. I hope you don't mind. That's why I explain stuff. Here is the house I still live in. In the 80s, 70s, it was painted yellow. And the picture on the envelope is much older, like maybe 1930s. And this black and white photo is also older. Okay, and here you see the house again, and Maria Anna, she is the mom of my grandpa's dad. And here I have two postcards which are written in old German writing, and I translated them onto this file folder. The old German writing is, yeah, you have to learn a bit to be able to read it, and I just wrote it with my typewriter. In fact, I wrote everything in typewriter because I don't really like my handwriting, and typewriter is easy to read. I love this file folder die cut and I used it multiple times in the journal. Here you have Karl, who is the brother of my grandpa's dad, and he wrote this in handwriting. It was actually a postcard, and I mimicked his handwriting on a glassine envelope where the photo lives in the journal. Here is more family photos of Maria Anna, like my grandpa's dad's side. And this is my grandpa's dad. He used to be a butcher, so I have some photos of him in his work clothes. And again, this little photo lives in the file folder. As I said, I love this die cut because it makes, I don't know, it has such a vintagey vibe to it. Here on the left side, you see him during Second World War on a motorcycle. Here's my, yeah, it was like between World War I and World War II, these photos. And I have an advertisement snippet from that cycle. And there you see him in a German Navy uniform. More family photos, and here he is in an older age. This is all original photos. I didn't glue anything down. It's all removable with photo corners and like using pockets, so you could at any time remove the photos and keep them separate from the journal. I didn't like gluing original photos down. This is my grandpa's mom. So I'm going all the way back until nowadays, like approaching the nowadays. Here is photos of her with her children and like her younger self, always using photos from the younger self up until the older self of each person. Here's some facts about her that I had, and if I had any years on photos, I put them with the photos. This is her sister, Paula, my dad's aunt. And this big photo is her daughter, Ingeborg. And Ingeborg was in fact shot in the house that I live in today, the house that Konrad built. It's crazy, it's all connected. It's his family. There's pictures of Ingeborg when she was younger on that folder, and I used little clips, paper clips, just for decoration. On this photo you can see my grandpa's dad. My grandpa in this photo is still a little toddler, and I wrote names underneath that matched to the people on the picture. And here's the second signature. The signatures are still loose because I want to bind the journal once I have everything ready, so I know how big it's gonna be, the spine, how wide it has to be. Here's Paula again, my dad's aunt with children, and my aunt's husband died in Second World War as well, so this is a memorial card that you would get if your husband died in war, with some prayers. And there's a newspaper snippet about his death and where he died. Now this is actually finally my grandpa's parents, my grandpa and his brother Fritz. My grandpa's name is Hans, his brother's name is Fritz. There's pictures of them when they're younger with their mother, and here's a letter that their mother wrote in Old German, which I translated, which is really funny because she was very upset about a woman who owed her money, and it's written very politely but still very upsetly. Again, decorated with a paper clip, paper ruffle up here, and these photo negatives that I have, which are actually negatives of the photos that I use. Here's more photos of my grandpa's dad. As I said, he was a butcher, and I go in more detail on this page. Put this little pig with the cuts on it because I don't know, I love that, you know, butcher topic and like visualizing it like this. And this is the butcher shop down there where they sold the meat, and they had a rolling shop as well. Just like later my great-grandpa's son, my grandpa, had a rolling shop as well, and this is it. This is his one. Pictures of him selling out of it. It's very, you know, the lighting is very bad on this photo. It's still cute. A restaurant that I guess they supplied with meat. And on the right side you can finally see him. That's my grandpa when he was younger, and at the bottom when he was still a child in the Hitlerjugend, which is a youth organization during the Second World War where you would do basic training for war actually, but it was all dressed up as in fun for kids. Like they went hiking and did a lot of sportsy things to train. I put all of these photos in this pocket along with a piece of text that is information about what was going on in Germany in the time when my grandpa was still a child. Because the Hitlerjugend at first was optional, but later it became mandatory to join. Here is a photo and a text that is on the back side of the photo, which I think my grandpa's brother wrote on it, which is a German children's song that actually has my grandpa's name in it, Hans. The song is called Hänschenklein, German little children's folk song. I found it very cute and funny how he used that and wrote that on the back of it. There's my grandpa at the bottom, and there's lots of text about my grandpa and as I said, the time when he lived in World War II, what was actually going on in Germany at that time. And he wasn't drafted, but his brother Fritz was drafted. Here is my grandpa's favorite car, the Opel P4. He actually built it himself out of basically scrap parts. He used to have a brand new one, lost it during war, and built a new one in the modern days after the war. And this is it. It was blue, and I resemble, you know, I put these sparkly blue pages, the corners, to resemble the car's color. And there's pictures of his old car and his new self-made car. Then I have these filed folders where I actually sketched the P4 on myself. My grandpa later, when he was older, like approaching death, he sold it for 10,000 euros. There's a Polaroid I took myself of it when it was in his garage, and there was a newspaper article about my grandpa's car, and I copied that text onto this file folder so I have it for all eternity. The sticker says sold for 10,000 euro. And here is a folder that is in general about the Opel P4, the original one, and when it was built, what it was used for. It needed only very few gasoline because, you know, it was an optimal car for wartime. So it was sold many times. Here's more data about my grandpa, and you can see the house where he used to live in until his death. This is actually the most recent picture that I have. He's now dead. And this is a page that has propaganda on it, and at the same time war images to contrast, you know, the glorifying propaganda and then the actual real images. You know, war was so glorified in Germany, and in reality it was horrible and dark, and I just wanted to create a stark contrast to set the mood for what was to come next, which is the story of Fritz, my grandpa's brother, who died in World War II, and my grandpa never got over it. He missed him until his death. So this is where I'm at right now, starting with his profile image. And what's to come after that has to be in part 2, and maybe you look forward to seeing that. So follow me if you're interested. Thank you, you guys. I love you. Bye bye.